Livery launch number 3. It's the Williams. First of all, let's have a look at see what we think of their 2023 livery. I was actually there at the launch, so you've got a little bit of extra footage as well. What would I change? What would I keep the same? Blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, let's look at my redesign. I've done something very different with my version. So if you are interested, stay tuned to the end. We're embracing the Golf Orange here. You will be forgiven for thinking at first glance that this doesn't look any different at all to last year's 2022 Williams. Now, that is kind of correct, but kind of incorrect. Okay, there's a couple of things that happened last year. You look at the livery at the start of 2022 versus the end of 2022, it shedded a lot of paint, arguably more than any other team, which fundamentally changed the composition of the livery. But now going into 2023, they've made some subtle changes, and I would say, broadly speaking, I don't know whether it's I grew to love last year's, not love it last year, I grew to tolerate it because I didn't like it at all at the start of the season. I think this is an upgrade. You see the light blue swooshing up on the side pod, that alone feels like the biggest change to me. The Golf is there, Golf branding moved over from McLaren. I could have asked, I didn't ask, why Golf has moved from McLaren to Williams. To be fair, even if I did ask, I probably wouldn't have been trusted with that information because, you know, I am a YouTube man. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that they didn't embrace the orange a bit more, and they have kept those little red highlights, which I said this last year, and I retain it now. I don't think the red adds anything. I think you've got, you know, shades of blue is enough on its own. And if you are going to have a hint highlight colour, well, you've got a dark orange Duracell and you've got orange in the Golf logo. Use that. If anything, I prefer it actually just completely desaturated if it was just a light grey or even just another shade of blue. We'll just blend it into the light bright blue, which I don't think is utilised enough in this livery. I think that's Williams' most unique colour that they kind of have ownership over, which is why I'm utilising that heavily in my redesign. Sponsorship wise, obviously with Nicholas Latifi's departure, Safina are gone, Lavazza are gone as well. A few more have come in, so it's not a livery full of sponsors. And I think the way that they've chosen to kind of compose this, keeping those side pods quite blank, for me, that makes sense as a decision to try and entice more sponsors to come onto that car. Okay, when you look at McLaren, when you look at Alfa Romeo, even now, which will be the next livery redesign because that's already come out, awash with sponsors for days. Williams don't quite have that, and I guess loitering at the back of the field for as long as they have is a knock-on effect. You could say the same about Sauber, but with Audi coming in, that increased interest in the team is going to make that a more appealing prospect to sponsor on. So I do kind of understand it. The thing that's being talked about most about this livery is the Duracell branding on the top, on the airbox. It's very clever. We did see it last year at Miami, actually. They did a version of this where Duracell had more branding on the car. It was on the rear wing as well, but they utilised that airbox in a really smart, clever way. It's not like Ineos, for example, on the Mercedes, which for me kind of ruins the livery being there. So all in all, I'm happy with what they've done. And the sentiment online seems to be that, you know, people were a bit disappointed it's not that different, but also I'm cool with them not changing it up because they need some consistency in their livery design. They're kind of the opposite of Red Bull. They've been chopping and changing continuously for the last few years. I mean, 2018 was Martini, 2019 was Rocket, totally different. 2020 was totally different to that, which was different to 21, which was different to 22. Consistency is important in branding if you want to build legacy in a livery, and this one definitely does have potential for sure. But enough of that, let's look at my redesign, my rendition of what I would do just differently, I guess, on the 2023. Not necessarily better, not necessarily worse. Let me know in the pinned comment below. By the way, like Team Real or Team Tommo for which design you prefer. Let's have a look. Okay, yes, totally different. And yes, I am embracing the bright electric blue. I'm also doing way more to embrace the orange. I'm ditching the navy. I don't typically like, I mean, navy's like my least favourite colour to put on a car because it's so close to black, but it's not quite black. It kind of just looks a bit clumsy whenever I see it on a car. I like the contrast that we've got with the brighter blue. I came up with this idea of using the pinstriping quite early, and I just went through loads of different colour variations on this to get to something that I was just like, oh yeah, that works. So you've got the blue, You've got the black, the carbon fibre, keeping the weight down, but then all the pinstriping is in orange, which again matches Duracell, but also matches Golf. When you've got two colour sensitive sponsors on your car, I feel like you just kind of have to make it work. And again, the red just doesn't seem to be offering me anything in the real life car. So just use the orange. Sponsor placement's been moved around a little bit. There's a few more Golf logos, but not as prominent. I've kept the side pod clean and clear because again, they need more sponsors. So come on, like it's literally like, put me here. It's inviting sponsors. When you look at it from the top down, it does have that kind of blue spine, and then obviously more side on, you've got that brake. I like colour blocking, so this is kind of my cup of tea. I also thought I'd push the boat out with my wheel cover design, which I'm going to try and do actually for all of these remaining liveries. We saw the Sauber that actually came out today, and even the Williams as well has got the little arrows going around. It's a nice little touch. You've got those wheel covers. Let's implement some design elements onto them. Why not? Even if they rolled this out as a one-off, it's not the same light blue that McLaren used with their Golf one-off livery in 2021, but it's close enough that this feels like it could work as a special edition Golf livery. So Williams, you know, I've done the hard work for you. You don't have to do anything. You can just put this on the car. As always, let me know in the pinned comment below, which one do you prefer? Are you Team Real or are you Team Tommo? Next time, Sauber Alfa Romeo. Like and subscribe. Pleasure as always. My name is Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.